What's up, guys? My name is Kendall Reusing. I am a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Black Belt. I've been training since I was about 4.5. I'm 26 now, and I'm here at the Alchemized Camp.
And how's camp going so far for you?
Man, the camp has been amazing. This is such a cool camp with so many different aspects where we have amazing jiu-jitsu, we have live training and rolling, we have all of these workshops as well about leadership, personal development, health, holistic, like a holistic view of being a jiu-jitsu athlete. It's been so fun.
Have you gotten to do any class outside of jiu-jitsu?
One of the workshops that I got to do today that I loved was with Rosie. She taught about personal development, about confidence, about self-mastery, and it was just absolutely wonderful. She led us through some really cool workshops as a group. We did visualization, we wrote a lot about our goals, we talked about core values. It was amazing, so it was really powerful for everybody.
Is this your first Alchemized Camp, or have you done another camp?
This is my first Alchemized Camp. I'm really hoping that I'm going to do one in the future. We've been kind of talking about the next ones that are coming up because I honestly, I think when you have a camp that instructors would actually want to be a part of as a participant, it makes for an even more wonderful teaching experience, and you can feel that from the instructors to the attendees, and they can deliver an even more amazing experience. So I think that's always the goal for me when I'm choosing what projects I want to be a part of, is it's like, would I actually want to be an attendee at this thing? And then I feel like I can actually do a really good job as a facilitator. So definitely love Alchemize. I've always heard good things about it, and it's been so great to be a part of one finally.
I know you guys were staying at an Airbnb together. How's it been like working with other instructors?
Yeah, it's been so cool staying with everybody at the same Airbnb because we're all really close. We spend a lot of time together. I think that's one of the things about a camp like this, of this magnitude, where we get to connect with people that I see them on Instagram, or I see them compete, or we have run-ins but we don't get to spend real one-on-one time together, sitting at the kitchen table, like talking late at night, eating our little snacks, hanging out, and really bonding in that way. So honestly, that's been a really big treat for me as a facilitator too.
How was your Q&A session? I know that's where a lot of girls come to ask you personal questions, and you're really open with sharing. So how was your Q&A?
I really love the Q&A portion of things because I feel like I get to connect to attendees on a different level. I'm always a really big open book during Q&As, sometimes to a fault, honestly. But I just feel that when I was younger in Jiu-Jitsu, if I would have been able to have access to someone who had the mad time and experience, I would have loved to be able to, deep dive into their mind and also hear their vulnerability and their honesty. So for me, I love Q&A because I feel like all we're doing there is sharing the truth, right? I'm just sharing my experience, and I try to say that over and over. Nobody is an authority figure in Jiu-Jitsu, right? Just sharing our experience, and when we can come together and do that in a really powerful way, it's really wonderful.
For girls where it was their first camp, coming here, did they share a little bit about their experience or how they're feeling, doing a camp that's is pretty big?
Yeah. So for people who Alchemize as their first experience, I think sometimes it can feel overwhelming at first because you walk into a room and it's hundreds of women, right? And oftentimes some of these girls, they are either the only woman in their gym, or they've never even trained before, or they have very limited experience with a lot of women in Jiu-Jitsu. Even people who've been training a long time, that's the case many times. So you walk into this camp, it's your first event, and you're like, oh my God. And I think because the event is so warm, there's such a warmth in the room with these women, there's so much kindness and love and encouragement, you very quickly start to let your guard down, feel more comfortable, and feel like you can really authentically express yourself and kind of relax into the environment instead of having that kind of nervous wall up in your environment. And so having so many people do that at the same time, I think there's a really special alchemy to that. And Alchemize, that was not even intended.
So I know this is the first camp where they had so many things besides Jiu-Jitsu. So how do you think that kind of added to the experience of a camp?
It was really cool to see the agenda of this camp when it first came out, because you saw all these different leadership workshops and exercises. We're talking about nutrition, we're doing breath work. For me, that's right up my alley. I love a holistic approach to Jiu-Jitsu because Jiu-Jitsu is one part of many of our lifestyles. It's a big part of our lifestyles, but there's so much more that's going on. And I always say that who you are off the mat greatly impacts the person you are on the mat. You bring that with you, and vice versa. We bring who we are on the mat with us into our regular lives. So to incorporate that all together is really special.